Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, one half of the Dungeon Swag team. And as we're moving into the monster manual, our next entry is the Arrowhawk. They have a small, medium, and large depending on age. I think I'm going to go for the medium. But the medium seems pretty big. It's telling me that an adult 11 to 14 years old is 10 foot long, so 2 inches, and has a wingspan of about 15 feet, so about 3 inches. But it only weighs 100 pounds, so I think that's the one I'm going to go with. I pulled out a larger base than that, but I'm going to pop that back in there and get a new base. Alright, so what I want to do, I suppose first, is find a hot glue gun. Because I got rid of my old hot glue gun. I didn't get rid of it, but I put it away. So I'm going to get that out and heat it up. And let's start looking at what we can do to make this magnificent flying monster. I bought that new dual temp shore bonder, and I just don't, it doesn't have the control that this shore bonder has. This is the one I've been using, and it's just a detail glue gun. It's great. I'm super spoiled on it. So let's look at a picture of the Arrowhawk. Arrowhawks never land. They're from an elemental plane of air, so they fly their entire lives, so they have no feet or anything. They have a beak with eyes above and below it, 2 tongues, 4 wings, oriented so they can fly upside down either way, and a long snake-like tail with some feathers on it. So let's see what we can come up with for the Arrowhawk. So I pulled out some different stuff here. I like that head for it. That head looked like it was going to do what I wanted. That head could do it too, I suppose. So let's see. We want a 15-foot wingspan. I have this guy here. I don't know. I was thinking about using his body, but we'll see. So this guy could provide us that 15-foot wingspan with those. So we could start by taking all those wings, and we could probably steal that tail too. We could make stuff out of cardstock, I suppose, if we really needed to. I'd like to not do that. So let's see. We could steal that neck and reposition that on this body. Let's snip these wings in such a way that we can use those again. Boop. Boop. Now these wings don't have feathers on them, so that does mean we're going to have some kind of added work here, but that's okay. Happy Saturday, everybody. It's good to be here. I think we might be better off making a body. And I think to do that, we're just going to see what I got in my bead box here. See if I have anything good for that. Not really. Alright, plan B. Let's look at my junk box. I have several junk boxes, but this is the one I keep at the bottom of the table here for grabbing it here. Nope, nothing good there. Alright, let me look at my drawers. I don't see anything good in here. You know what might be good is a snake body. Like a big snake. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's just make something. So let's set our parts off to the side and get a piece of foam here. You can use whatever you have. If you don't have foam, that's cool. You can use anything, really. You can twist up tin foil or use clay or whatever you got laying around. Actually, clay probably would have been the wise move on this. So I'm just trying to shape out the body to make it a little round. It's a little longer than we needed, so we can just kind of there we go. Let's get the foam out of here. This is not ideally how I wanted to do the body. I wanted to use something hard plastic, but this will work. So we're going to have to start by figuring out that head and neck situation. So, pardon me. What I'd like to do is get that neck on there. And this body, I'm just going to curve this some. And some hot glue will eventually put that in a better kind of shape. I did not turn on my glue gun. That was a mistake. Alright, we can use this time to do something with this body. So we know that they have feathers all over them. So let's get a pen and see if we can just simulate some texture on here a little bit. And we're going to probably have some glue on here too. Holding this all together, really. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. It's pretty far down. The problem is if I move the camera down, I'm having trouble finding a good setup. If I move the camera down, what tends to happen is I hit my head on it and stuff, and then it's shaking and moving around. So I haven't really found a good way to record, and you know, I never really thought I was making this many videos or doing this much. I didn't think anybody's going to watch. We're going to be honest. So we're going to put 2 wings that way and 2 wings underneath. The head, we can shape this head up a little better, I bet. We got to figure out the eye situation. Maybe we can get a pin vise and just kind of simulate the eyes. Oops, we get a smaller pin vise or pin drill. I'm sorry, I don't know what's called what anymore, guys. I just make stuff. All right, we can get. Some eyes on there. Those aren't beautiful. Boop. Now I've never run a Arrowhawk. I've seen them in the book 100 million times, but I've never run one. So let's see how that ends up as I think about how you would run something like this. Let's think about how that adds up. Alright. So I just want to kind of get that around. And then I want to make sure it's in there good and strong. And I'm just going to kind of drag that along to make sure it fills in the gaps and everything. Then we want to get that head on there. I'm just using a little dab because we're going to end up gluing all this stuff in place, I think. It's a little more of a ridiculous angle than I wanted, so I'm just going to take some glue and smooth that together and fill in the gaps. And this is going to give it a little bit of texture, I guess. Okay. So we're just dragging glue around right now, trying to get a little bit of a shape going for our horrible flying creature. And then we want this tail. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this little bit of protruding part here off. Make that a little flatter because I want that to kind of sit. Oops. So my thought is that our Arrowhawk will be like this. On the base. And then he'll be like, you know, kind of angled in some way like he's attacking. I don't know. I don't have a great plan. Here's what I do have is some cut up plastic dinosaurs or dragons and a bird. That's what I got. And you know, these don't need to be straight. So like if you want to make that off kilter a little bit wonky, because he's moving around in air and fighting and stuff, right? He's not just... So we want to come around here, kind of bring all that together. Now, his tail part, until the feathers started, looked a little like, little wonky and a little scaly even. Let's set this off to the side for a moment, and let's take a look at a base. So I got a base here. Let's see what we got to do to it to make it work. So we're going to get that there. Get that there. We gotta get some super glue and a toothpick. Whoops. We gotta get that going around there like it. There we go. Boop. Alright, so then normally at this point, we got to get this on the base, okay? So the smart answer would be to get some buildup of some glue or something to hold that. So we will do that. I did not toothbrush this off, so we will regret that down the road, I think. So we want to get this guy up. Something like that, and get it in place. And we can just get that right where we want it. And then we can make this be like a I can't think English today. We can make this like a stalagmite or something sticking up. Alright, now this is going to take a second to cool off for sure. It's going to keep falling until it dries or cures or whatever, so. Alright, let's get that back up. Alright, so I added a little dust on there. just to give it a little bit of texture, and then let it dry. I think it's going to hold itself up right at this point pretty good. I'm not sure. So let's come back to this. This should be fairly dry to work with. And let's look at attaching these wings. Let's just get a little bit of glue. And remember, 2 of them are oriented up. And 2 of them are oriented down. So right now we just want this to dry in place. We're not worried about the positioning exactly. It's got to be close, but not perfect. Okay. And then we want to do the same thing on this side. So we're just going to get a little dibble of glue. Let that cool down. If you had some kind of clear plastic rod to do the upright stand with, that'd probably be better, but I don't have that, so we're going to just use what I have. So we're going to need to strengthen this up some. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little more glue and just pull that around a little bit up onto the wings. Even though these don't have any feathers on them, I actually don't think they're bad wings. Oh, I did something wrong here. What did I do wrong? Yeah, okay, this got to be like that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Mistakes were made. Because they're supposed to be able to fly either way, upside down, like either way they're going. Let's just let those cool a little bit and get set. That one's not behaving. Just kind of push that in there a little bit. There we go. Alright. So we're starting to get some kind of shape of an Arrowhawk going, and he's going to sit on that base, something like that. We're going to have him a little bit elevated. Now that makes for a miniature not to be as sturdy when you do that, because it's going to teeter more. So we don't want it to be up too high. So now we're just going to kind of see what we can do to get him on that base nice. Oops. Okay, we got a hole there. Get some glue. Pop him in that hole. Then we want to kind of angle him so he looks like he's attacking. Alright, so that's what I'm thinking we have for our Arrowhawk. We do need some kind of little feathers on the tail there. I don't have a great plan for that, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little piece of yarn that my beautiful wife has graciously, unknowingly volunteered to our cause. And if I can ever find the end of it, let's pull it out of this here and find the end of this yarn. There it is. So I'm just going to get a couple pieces of this yarn. And I'm going to comb it out with something sharp. And just make a little piece like that. Actually, you know what? That might be brilliant. And get that on there. And we're going to smooth that out with some glue. We're going to snip off some of this excess. Something like that. There we go. And we're going to use that to simulate the little feathers on the end of his tail. So we have something like this going. And there are some spots where he is not super sturdy. And he has some strings too. So we're going to come over here. And using the hot glue gun, we're just going to kind of melt some of the sticky up bad looking parts on the foam. Where it's a little square, where there's like a right angle, or not right angle, like a jutted out angle. We're just going to clean that stuff up. And we're going to take a look at it. So, seems pretty solid for the most part. I'm just going to get a little bit of glue and increase the strength of this post a little bit. There we go. I'm going to bring a little bit down here and make this rock look a little more jaggedy. Now this glue is really hot, so I'm not sure how great of a job this is ultimately going to do. Alright, that's him. I think that's what we were looking for there, is for our Arrowhawk. Now, even though the measurements are, like I said, about a 15-foot wingspan, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's about 10 foot long. With his tail, he's a little bit longer. But this is essentially, I think, what we were going for. I think we captured it. Just getting a little strings, spider webs, or whatever. Alright. So anyways, if you like what we're doing here on the channel, if you like the Dungeons and Doom Biscuit channel, powered by DungeonsSwag.com, do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and if you don't, then don't do that. That's actually how you handle that. I didn't know if you were aware that there was an option to abstain from that behavior. I'm going through the monster manual, so if you like the monsters there, you can try to build along with me and post on our Discord what you come up with so we can see how it looks. Oh, his tail needs a little bit of super glue, because that's yarn and it won't be hard. There we go. And you know what, we can just give him a little bit of glue to toughen him up in some spots, really. That won't hurt nothing, I don't suppose, unless it melts that foam. But anyways, if you want to get some cheap miniatures, and I say cheap, I mean price-wise, they're high quality, really detailed, super bendy, good minis. Hold on, let me grab some out here. So this is an unopened box that I haven't dealt with yet. And this spear, look at that. You can just bend it, twist the miniatures, horns. You know, they're sturdy. You can really get into this. And so they're good minis. Go to the website. There's a discount code in the description. And there is a another discount code to get a free mini. That's the shipping and everything. So I'm a little distracted here. I'd like to thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time on part 2 where we paint this up.